The Latest in the Gayest podcast is intended for listening by adult members of the LGBTQIA+ community and their allies. Discussions may contain material not suitable for folks under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised. This week, we do a red, white, and royal recasting.
And I help you plan your next gay getaway.
All this and more on The Latest.
And the gayest. And, by gay, unfortunately, Pride's over, but, you know, if you want to break the law and continue being gay after June, you could join us here today on the latest episode of The Latest and the Gayest with me, your host. I don't think we introduced ourselves last time.
Probably not.
But this time, we will be introducing ourselves, because I'm one of your hosts, Josh, and
my name is Alex. Thank you so much for being here. We are so thrilled to be here yet again, breaking the law and being homosexual, not during the month of June. Mm-hmm. Which could get us in a little bit of trouble, but we're rebels, so it's fine.
Yeah,
we're radio rebels. So what's
does anyone listen to the radio anymore?
I did. Because I remember back when, a couple summers ago, I think it was like the summer of, after my sophomore year, I worked a job. I was a delivery boy for Panera Bread. And I remember, because I had like my first car that I had, I used to have a 2008 Buick LaCrosse was my first car. She served me well. She was quite literally a grandma car because I got her from my grandmother.
I remember.
And she was in pretty good condition because my grandma didn't really she really only drove the car to and from her favorite coffee shop
Grandmas don't drive
every day. And cause she was a regular there. They knew her. When she walked in, those bitches were like, "Hey, Barbara, what's up?
Hey, it's the Big B.
Yo, Barb, get her meal ready." And she knew everybody at that store. She was famous.
That's so sweet.
She was famous to those bitches.
I want to be an old man that walks into a place and just is kind of annoying but really cheerful, so people tolerate me, and I just talk to all the people there.
Yeah, you're because there are I know exactly the type you're talking about. There are we had a lot of customers at the wine shop that I used to work at who they were very nice and they were very sweet, but at the same time they still were a little bit annoying from time to time.
But not so annoying that they were you wanted to strangle them, but
yeah.
Maybe they wanted to talk about their son's graduation plans, even though there was a line.
Yeah, oh my God, I remember. I'm so bad at fucking.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
You heard it here first.
Do we need to do that?
You heard it here first, folks. I am bad at sex. Now
it's so brave of you to come out.
I really wanted to be transparent with all of you. It's my vulnerable.
Getting vulnerable on the pod.
This is what we do. We get demure and vulnerable. But
besides fucking, what else are you like?
I'm so bad at trying to be stern faced while somebody is talking about something really tragic. Well, so okay, well, and not okay. So let me give you an example.
Please.
Well, at least so there's I promise there's a method to my madness here. There was this one time this old man came in to the store and he was very nice. He was very, very cheerful, very pleasant. We chatted up a conversation and he wanted to get a bottle of Chianti for a party that he was going to. And he didn't really give any specifics at first. And so I was kind of helping. I was recommending a few things. And then he was like, "Yeah, some of these look like they'd be perfect for the crowd I'm going with. I'm going to a funeral for my best friend who just recently passed away." And then he went into this like whole story about like how it happened and how his friend passed away. And the thing is, it was, and I it's not like I was like, "Oh, damn, that sucks, bro." But like, I'm trying, like, I don't know how to react in those situations. And I'm like, I'm so sorry that happened.
There's a good way to react to that situation.
Exactly. So I never know what to do in situations like that. I never know, because I'm just like, I'm so sorry to hear about that.
$17.99.
So do you want to get the $20 bottle or the $18 bottle?
Will that be cash or credit?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm so sorry to hear about your friend. So will that be cash or card? And I never know like how to like compose myself in situations like that, because I don't know what to say.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, the thing is too, is like, I do know there have been times where people have come in the store asking for us to like, "Oh, hey, I need like
cakes
a little
for like a funeral or something."
Yeah, like a little like mini pastry tray.
Okay.
I do know that someone I work with attended a funeral in the past year, and they got a free little tray of snacks.
Oh, okay.
Which is nice, because they think, "Oh, bring this to like the funeral, send our condolences to the fam." And I'm like, if I get my grandmother to move up with me, and if she goes out soon, then I get a free tray of snacks. Is that terrible? I'm sorry.
Your poor grandmother, and be like, "Oh, my grandson wants me to live with him. How sweet!" It's like, lady, I just want a free tray. I just want a free croquembouche.
I only say that because she is.
I just want a free tray of cream puffs.
I mean, she's not like the healthiest, but she's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I just want a free cream pie.
I do.
In more ways than one. But that's a story for another time. But yeah. Anyway, back to the story that I got completely derailed from. People who listen to the radio.
Oh yeah,
because we were talking about that like 8 minutes ago or something. So I don't know.
I also, like, while you said that, I just realized, oh shit, the one thing that we need. So our tech producer is a little late.
Yes,
and he's usually like, "Hey, you guys have been talking for half an hour. Can you please wrap it up?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, how long have we been talking?"
He's better at keeping us on track, and he's currently on his way here because apparently his alarms didn't go off this morning. But so hey, Lance, we're putting you on blast. Anyway,
we're at 8 minutes.
Okay, so people who listen to the radio. I used to work at Panera Bread. And
delivery driver.
Yeah, my old 2008 Buick. I used to have this thing called a radio transmitter, which is basically, you can buy them on Amazon for literally like $20. It's this little thing that if you have like an older car, this is a great like an old car that doesn't have Bluetooth or something. This is a great way to be able to like listen to your music in the car without having to like get some kind of like whole whacked out speaker system installed. So basically it's this thing, you plug it into the cigarette lighter of your car.
Yep.
And it'll connect to a empty radio station, like across all the different like radio stations or whatever. And then you connect your phone via Bluetooth to the device, and then you can play your music through that empty radio station.
Okay, but that's not listening to the radio though.
No,
that's
but so there's more to it. So, when I worked at Panera, we're constantly moving, we're constantly doing things, constantly going on deliveries. I didn't have time to as soon as I get into the car with like the food, I didn't have time to like pull out my phone, set up my music, turn make sure the thing was on, because it's an older car, so it can the device sometimes took like a minute.
So scan and figure out
make sure that so I would just leave a radio. I just left like a basic radio station on, and so yeah. So I did listen to the radio.
See, the radio doesn't play like music that I like.
That's true.
I'm not listening to like Justin Bieber or like I don't know. What's the radio even playing these days?
I don't know.
Taylor Swift? I don't know.
I mean, I love me some Doja Cat. I love me some Taylor. I love me some Ariana. But you are correct. There's a lot of music that the radio station plays nowadays that I just am like not that big of a fan of.
And there's like those handful of songs that they will not just take out of the rotation.
No, and if it's like, because there's a radio station in kind of like my hometown area that's like across part of the Connecticut area that I'm convinced just changes up their songs maybe twice a year. Maybe 3 if we're lucky, but they do play like a lot of the same shit. And it's like, at one point you'll hear a Doja Cat like "Kiss Me More," and then you're like, oh, I love this song.
Okay.
And then a couple hours later, and here's Doja Cat in SZA with "Kiss Me More" on 103.2 The Rock.
Drag them.
That's not actually
say their names.
That's not actually the radio station.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just making up something. But
I was like, damn, shots fired at 103.5 in the PM.
Nah,
with Dirty Rick.
With Dirty Rick and Harold.
Yeah.
No, but anyway.
It's atrocious.
Speaking of Dirty Harold.
Is it time?
It is actually.
We're 11 minutes. We're gonna cut it early.
We're gonna take a break.
Taking a break.
And we're back. And now it's time to quandarize a few things pretty queerly in our gay news segment, Queer Quandaries. And let's get into this week's top stories.
Absolutely. Do you want to start?
Oh, please, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
such a nice change.
Oh, there's a pause. I was like, okay, so is it me?
Love.
The Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case of Moore v. Harper, which is basically arguing that the state legislature alone, and not the federal government, at kind of any capacity, has the right to run how they elect and how they run elections. So basically, they're trying to leave it entirely to the states to do their elections however they want, kind of regardless of anything, without any interference from the federal government, which would basically like things like gerrymandering and like voter suppression would be like
totally valid.
Totally valid. There would be no legal retribution for that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, considering how rotted and gutted the Supreme Court has been the past 45 minutes, it's wild. So, yeah. Yeah. So, like Josh said, as we know, after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, Clarence Thomas said that they're planning to revisit Lawrence versus Texas, which invalidates state anti-sodomy laws across the nation, Obergefell v. Hodes, which legalized gay marriage nationwide, and Griswold v. Connecticut, which struck down state restrictions on contraception. And recently, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton he was asked if Texas passes a law banning same-sex intimacy, would he defend it? His response to the question was the following. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of issues here, but certainly the Supreme Court has stepped into issues that I don't think there was any constitutional provision dealing with. They were legislative issues, and this is one of those issues. He also added, look, my job is to defend state law, and I'll continue to do that. This is my job under the Constitution, and I'm certainly willing and able to do that. Now,
this is certainly not abnormal for Ken because he is a pretty well-known homophobe.
Yep. At this
he
point.
yeah, he sued over the transgender inclusive provisions of the Affordable Care Act and over the guidelines issued by President Obama's administration on equal treatment of trans students. So good to know where Texas is headed.
Yep.
That's our world.
That's where we are, unfortunately.
Yep.
And also, like, what else did Ken Paxton do that was, like, insane?
I mean, a lot of stuff, but,
anti-gay laws, and I think he was also involved in that, was he involved in that Texas winter storm thing? I forget.
No, well, there was I think you're thinking about Ted Cruz.
No, there was... Well, Ted Cruz, he went to, like, Cancun or something.
Yeah, he went on vacation while everybody else was starving.
I have to remember. I mean, it's been like since 1987. But anyway, moving forward. So a lot of current students and alumni, I want to say it's like 100 and more than 100 people from Anderson University, which is some sort of Christian school in South Carolina.
Okay.
They've all kind of come together and wrote a letter to the school because saying they're going to cease financial support unless they decide against terminating the teaching contract of Miranda Barnett. She's being she's not being fired, but she's not being like
she's in some hot water.
She's a teacher at the school, and her contract is not being renewed because of her sexual orientation.
Oh.
And the school is basically saying, like, we have the right to do this. We support the gays, but we have rules against
go gays, but also
you can't teach here unless you're teaching
that
good Christian shit.
Christian values. Yeah,
yeah, and that's kind of so the alumni and students are kind of taking a stance against, like, hey, we're gonna stop giving you money if you like continue with this.
Well, good for them.
Yes.
And this is just like another thing that kind of freaks me out because I'm not sure if you've heard, but recently yet another thing being steamrolled by the Supreme Court. I think it already has happened, but they're trying to get like the separation of church and state. They're trying to make that like no longer a thing so that states can fully just be like, this doesn't support, states can fully just like base their laws off like good Christian values and ban or, like criminalize whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, it's getting a little insane. And again,
even though it's literally in the Constitution. Have you seen? I think I talked to you about this, but have you seen that clip of Lauren Boebert? Is that Boebert? I've been told we pronounced her name wrong, but I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's a clip of her going around where she is at some rally somewhere, and she was saying how I have had enough of this separation of church and state junk. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that. And then it cuts to like this thing of some guy who's like, wait, I swear I could have sworn I saw that somewhere. And then he looks up the U.S. Constitution. It's literally the First Amendment.
Yeah.
It is quite literally the First Amendment in the Constitution. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where they're getting this from.
They're pulling it out of their asses. And also, like, with the Moore v. Okay, sorry, my brain is fried. But the case that they're hearing soon about the state legislator having total control over elections, it's all based on very loose and bad faith interpretations of the Constitution.
Yep.
So it's just they're being willfully ignorant, as always.
As per usual.
As per the usual.
Yep. Anyway, to end off on kind of a lighter note, This Tuesday, the Democratic members of the House of Representatives announced a proposal for what they are calling the Transgender Bill of Rights. It would protect transgender people from being discriminated against by codifying the Supreme Court's Bostock v. Clayton country decision in 2020. It would also ensure that transgender and non-binary people are not discriminated against or persecuted for persecuted. They are not persecuted for their gender identity and expression, providing a comprehensive framework for protecting them. This bill would amend the Civil Rights Act to include the protection of gender identity and characteristics of sex, the prohibition of conversion therapy, and the expansion of gender-affirming health care. This would also require the Attorney General to appoint a liaison to ensure that trans people's civil rights are protected and that community services are provided to prevent violence against them. In a recent interview with The Advocate, Representative, make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly, Pramila Jayapal, who has a trans child, she had this to say about the bill. When you look at the hundreds of bills that have been introduced in state legislatures targeting trans folks, when you look at the criminalization of parents of trans kids just to be able to provide support to our kids and provide gender-affirming care, this feels like a very important moment to stand up and say no. We are not going to just stand by and allow these people, allow these attacks to happen. So fingers crossed that, something will hopefully happen with that, because I think it's no secret that trans people have been under quite
a barrage.
Yeah, they've been getting ripped to shreds lately.
I'm a little concerned. Like you said something about it was up to the attorney generals to appoint
the attorney general is going to have to appoint a liaison
of each state. We were just talking about folks like Ken Paxton, and that I do not want him in control of the protection of trans individuals.
Nobody wants him in control of anything. I mean, like I said, he literally, I was literally just talking about. He's a well-known homophobe.
Yeah.
The man, he sued over the transgender inclusive provisions of the Affordable Care Act. So I think it's well-known at this point that
he's a nasty little man.
Yep. Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see.
I swear, if these fucking Democrats don't do something, literally anything.
That's the thing. It's so all these people were, they're making all these announcements about how they're, we're gonna fight for you. We're gonna make sure that none of this happens, and yet I am not seeing anything happen.
There's no action. There's no
not a lot. Yeah, I just keep seeing a lot of speeches.
Plenty of text asking for $15 to $25 by midnight.
Oh yes, all the campaigns, all the politicians are reaching out to. This is really going to help our cause, because they want your donations and they want your money.
Do something now.
That it would certainly be great if they could actually step up to the plate, because I feel like we keep seeing a bunch of speeches from President Biden about how he's so outraged about everything that's happening, and yet nothing's being done.
I don't see any executive orders. I don't see any.
And literally, there's this kind of reminded me of a thing that has when Biden was first elected, there were a lot of Trump supporters who were like, so Biden voters, why don't I see y'all with your Biden t-shirts, and why don't I see y'all supporting your boy? What's going on? Where's the Where's all the Biden merch
I don't
at?
like him.
Why have you suddenly gotten rid of all your Biden stuff?
I never had it.
Like, that's the thing. And I'm like, people are, there's this thing that's been happening recently where when the people who voted Biden into office, when we, critique him and we say, hey, you're not doing a good job. You are doing a bad job at being president right now. What the hell? A lot of the Trump supporters, they take that as like, they're turning on him. Or like,
we were never.
Or
I mean, I'll speak for myself, but like, I was never formed to begin with, and this is not points for Trump. This is not points for you. This is just
This is not us like seeing the error of our ways and wishing that we had voted the orange monster back into office. Because I do not regret my decision for not voting for Trump, but am I able to say that Joe is not doing a great job at being president? Yes, because he's a politician and he is not worthy of blind praise.
Yeah, I don't.
No politician should be worthy of blind praise like that. But that's something that the Trump supporters don't understand because of the insane lengths that they would go to garble up Trump's ballsack.
Oh my god, it's so nice. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, it's this strange thing that like I don't see as much in like on the left. Just this like basically like literally like praise. It's literally like worship of like, well, because it's so tangled up with like religiosity and Christianity.
Yeah.
And so there is like this is like God's pick. This is God's gift to us. This man that's gonna, return us to the good old days.
Save us from this life of corruption.
Yeah. And we're just like, dog, I just want to be able to buy a house.
And
I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not going to thank you. Like, no. I'm not going to thank these people for the scraps that we're being given.
No.
And like,
and now things are getting like even worse with the Supreme Court and all this shit of like, now with Roe v. Wade overturned and states are,
and the Miranda rights.
Yep. Miranda rights and Obergefell is next. And there's a lot of other stuff that's like, soon to follow. And they're literally trying to just make it into like a Republican, like, wet dream of like everything's being run on like Christian grounds.
Also, wait, let me look up. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like really like if you like ignore the court packing, if you ignore the I guess political move it would be to expand the court, I'm pretty sure there are 9 justices on the Supreme Court for the 9 circuits that there were. And now that there's 13 circuits, there should be 13 justices. I think I could be wrong. I don't know the numbers for sure.
Yeah.
So just the way that like there's ways that to take observable action that make sense and they're not inherently political. That just make sense. That just follow a precedent. Because apparently that's what it's all about. Oh, the Supreme Court doesn't have the right to say this, and they shouldn't have done that big. Well, if we're like doing the things the way that we've been doing them, which is what I think the Republicans want. There are 13 circuits of courts or whatever. I don't know a whole lot about this court system and about the court jargon, but like there are 13 circuits. There should be 13 justices.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, the only thing that I'm kind of holding out hope for is we finally have Ketanji Brown.
I was about to say, congrats.
In the court. And she, was it yesterday or the day before she got, she got sworn in. So keeping my fingers crossed that hopefully something will happen. Because Ketanji, we need you. We need you, girl. But anyway, let's go take a break.
Let's take some shots.
And we're back. And now, everyone, I would like to introduce to you a new segment here on The Latest and the Gayest that we are calling Alex's 5-Minute Pop Culture Pussy Pop. The name is still a little bit in the workshop, but
I was going to say we're calling it that.
well, I'm calling it that because it's my segment. And here's how it's going to work.
It's my segment, and not yours.
No. And that's a fun reference there. Anyway, here's how it's going to work. I am going to break down 5 stories from gay pop culture this week as fast I can in 5 minutes.
What if you just broke down and started dancing?
I mean, that full well could happen, but let's get down to it. All right, first story. This week, the trailer for Season 3 of High School Musical, the musical, the series, was released, and people are very excited, mainly because we get to see some awesome guest stars on this season, including Miss JoJo Siwa and Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who we know from Modern Family. And this will also be the first season of the show since Joshua Bassett came out. And a lot of people have been speculating whether or not the writers are planning on writing his coming out experience into this season of the show, or if they're just going to leave his character, Ricky, as his normal straight self. And something that people are also excited about is, or actually I guess not so excited about, we are not going to get to see as much of Olivia Rodrigo this season because she's, killing it with her music. And she is going to be more of a secondary character this season. So we are only going to see a little bit of her. But anyway, High School Musical, the musical, this series, Season 3 drops on July 27th on Disney+. Next up, Hocus Pocus 2. The trailer is finally out. We are so excited. We get to see the Sanderson sisters back on our television screen. The iconic movie, Kathy Najimy, Sarah Jessica Parker, and the other girl. I'm so sorry. Sorry to this woman. Right
from Pride to Halloween.
Bette Midler. God. Okay, Bette Midler. Okay.
They're gonna light your ass up.
They probably are, and you know what?
Cancel.
I deserve it. Anyway,
next.
A lot of people are excited because we get to see a new group of youngsters interacting with the Sanderson sisters, including Whitney Peak, who got her big break recently on the HBO reboot of Gossip Girl. So, Hocus Pocus 2 will be dropping on September 30th on Disney+. Next up, the trailer for Season 3 of Canada's Drag Race came out, and Brooklyn is looking beautiful as always, and we get to see some new queens, and we get to see the return of Tracy Melchior and Brad Goreski, who replaced Season 1's judges, Stacey McKenzie, and what was his name?
Jeffrey Boyer Chapman.
Yeah, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, the guy who got bullied off of social media by the twinks because he was a little bit too mean to the girls. But speaking of the girls, we get to see Vanjie as a guest judge this season, so we're going to see Vanjie and Brooklyn reunite, and we get to see Jimbo as a judge, which I am so fucking excited for. But anyway, Season 3 of Canada's Drag Race dropping on Crave Canada and WoW Presents Plus on July 14th. Next up, the trailer for Season 3 of Harley Quinn, the animated series, was recently released, and we get to see Kaylee Kiyoko, who we know from The Big Bang Theory, as Penny. She voices Harley Quinn, and Lake Bell plays Poison Ivy. So the main plot of the season has still kind of yet to be announced, but we do know that this season is going to be extremely funny and extremely raunchy. We get to see Harley and Ivy kick off their Eat, Bang, Kill tour, and we get to see them go on just a hellscape of mayhem with Clayface and King Shark, and it is all extremely exciting. So look out for Season 3 of Harley Quinn on July 28th, HBO Max. And last but not least, we in this week, the new series based off of the hit movie Big Hero 6, the Baymax series, has officially dropped on Disney+. And in a recent episode, we got to see Baymax was in a grocery store, kind of looking in the feminine hygiene section, and some of the ladies were giving Baymax recommendations for different pads and tampons. And this is the part that was really cool. They showed a trans man giving some recommendations for
cool,
pads and tampons. And just a reminder that trans men can still get their periods.
And yes, not only women have periods.
Yes.
What the fuck is a Baymax show about?
It's basically just a continuation of Big Hero 6.
Is he still doing
like,
superhero shit?
TV series, you know?
Or is he just giving up medical advice to strangers?
You know, I don't know, to be quite honest with you. But anyway,
because what I've seen and what has been described is it's almost he's just walking around being like, "Hey, you sprained your ankle. Here's what you need to do in the situation." I mean, as a kid, like that's okay, cool, I guess. But like that's a learning thing, and I don't want to learn as a kid. I don't want to be. You have to trick children into learning.
That's
true.
You
can't just teach them.
Very G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt in that cut.
See, well, no, that's what we were doing.
That's what we should have been doing.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And
during this break.
You know what? I look forward to that. Baymax is currently out now on Disney Plus, and we will be right back.
And we're back with some vacation shit, I suppose. We're kind of dipping into a new segment. I'm not sure what the umbrella this falls under, but we just finished Pride. But for some people, the party never stops.
Hey,
do you ever see those like gay people or people in general that just travel and they just go places? And I'm like, bitch,
I mean,
what the fuck do you
do?
do?
You know what? I will give them credit though, because they're living in the moment. They are saying like, you know what? I may be $30,000 in debt, but I'm gonna take that trip to Bali. And I am going to tan on a crystal clear beach, even though the IRS is currently probably seizing my assets as we speak.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know what?
But the men in Bali will be seizing my assets first.
Hey.
Hey. How y'all doing?
How y'all doing?
Anyways, we're going to talk. Okay, so I'm going to have like one like very basic pick. We talked about not doing that during the thing, but I think this one necessitates it. Just like the because I was looking. Okay, so the first one to start with is New York because I wanted to like do like a historic one.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of historic places in New York.
So basically, we're going to be talking about some vacation destinations for you to visit this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like Josh said, for some of us, the party never stops.
And,
and we're going to provide you with some awesome vacation destinations to live out your gay fantasy.
You should, like, do a advertisement for, like, a gay Expedia.
I'm available for hire, so...
What would you name it? A gay travel agency.
Gay travel agency. Ooh.
The travel agency. Okay.
Oh, bam. There we go.
Bam.
All right. Done.
As I was saying before, though, we're going to start with New York.
Yes.
Because I was looking for, like, historic gay cities, and there aren't really a whole lot. We don't really pop up in history. We do pop up in history, but we don't have, like, a... There's, like, cities that, like, have history for certain people.
That's true.
But not for, like, the gays.
Not really. For us as much.
But New York actually has a lot.
Oh, yes.
Of course, because you have...
Stonewall.
Stonewall.
Literally the beginning of the gay liberation movement.
Absolutely. And then there was some... I'm trying to look for the place. There's a fire... It's, like, not Fire Island. Cherry Grove? Yeah,
Cherry Grove. Now, where is that? Tell us.
I don't know. Basically, it's this place... I could be talking about Cherry Grove. I could talk about something else. Sorry.
Yeah.
My notes
Y'all can look it up yourselves.
You can. But basically, there's also like a lot of like purely gay areas where like it's purely gay residents and like in that area.
Oh yes.
There's also
a lot. New York is famous for a lot of gay bars. They have a huge drag scene. We've seen many a New York queens appear on RuPaulina's Drag Race. And they've got the nightlife, they've got the restaurants, they've got the bars, they've got the start of the gay liberation movement, and it's extremely expensive, but a trip to New York is always an interesting experience.
That was the thing too. There was the link that I found. Embarrassingly, I like, because you know how like you like go like look at something, and like you have like, so I don't know how you organize your stuff. But, like, I had, like, a tab open for, like, vacation here are bars that, like, Rue girls, like, had been to in New York.
Yeah.
And it's now, I'm researching how to, like, buy wine online. And That the tab that was recently that is now
It's now wine online.
is now a checkout thing.
Is now a bottle of Pinot Grigio.
A few
bottles of Pinot Grigio. Okay.
And then the next place we're gonna talk about. Do you know where Puerto Vallarta is?
I don't know specifically
of
where
Puerto
it is.
Vallarta?
Yes, I have heard of
The
it.
infamous COVID Puerto Vallarta scandal.
Yes.
Half the gays.
Yep.
Well, it's definitely gay, but it's also very crowded. And there's another LGBTQ friendly city in Mexico called. Okay, so I'm about to get like banished by the Mexican community because I don't know how to pronounce this. Zipolite.
I mean,
I ask as if
I mean, they're gonna come for you, not me. So I'll be sitting pretty. But continue.
And basically, it's like south of Puerto Vallarta, and it's a beautiful, sunny island, not islandy, but like tropical resort area. It has like a nude beach.
Ooh.
It's very friendly. It's queer bars.
I've always wanted to go to a nude beach.
And they're nude. They are.
I think
it's the only nude beach in Mexico. Actually,
dingity dongs out for the world to see.
Oh my goodness! Okay, so we're not going to talk about Provincetown because that's basic. But like when I was in Provincetown once, there was like a. I don't think it is a nude beach, but there were some. There were some
nakeds.
There were some nudes.
Yeah.
And, fucking.
Do you remember our
50-year-old? No, like 89-year-old hung Henry was walking around.
Do you remember the road trip we took? Like the last minute road trip that you and I took a couple of years ago.
The successful one or the not successful?
Oh, the successful one.
Okay.
Yeah. The infamous non-successful one will live on in history, but the successful one, yeah, that was good times.
Good times.
Anyway, hey, how y'all doing?
I love that vine so much.
Oh my god! This is supposed to be a classy segment, and here we are. Anyway, all right. What's up next? What city's up next? What do we got?
So the next place I'd like to talk about is I wanted to pick like a more like left field choice,
right?
Because we always talk about like the was it Mykonos is the name?
Oh yes.
No, we're not talking about her.
No,
the gays know about her.
We know about Mykonos.
We talk about the Puerto Vallarta is the like
P-towns.
But I wanted to look for a place in Asia,
right?
And so the place I can't find the name. Hello. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So it's like this is one of those like articles where it's like when scouring the globe, I fucking scraped my knee on the. They just drove on and on.
They just
there's a lot of fluff.
Stumbled upon it.
So this is like it's an area within Tokyo,
okay.
But it's not Tokyo.
Okay.
It's like a part of it.
Okay.
It's called Nichome in Shinjuku.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of that.
Have you?
Well, the only reason is in the classic movie Teen Titans: Trouble in Tokyo.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That was
they have to go to when the Titans first get to Tokyo, they have to go to the Shinjuku district.
What the fuck do you know that?
'Cause I'm a Teen Titans nerd. Are you kidding me? I was raised on Teen Titans. Starfire and Raven were my gay awakening.
We talked about it.
Yes, we did.
Basically, this area in Shinjuku is known for their nightlife and bars and restaurants, and some of which that are LGBTQ friendly. And in this area, there's Japan. It says it's not saying hi gay. It's saying hi gay.
Just like a casual hello.
Very casual.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is one of the areas where they are like very like going the extra mile.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
And so if you're looking to go to Japan, that is
place to check out.
Place to check out, absolutely. Which also, it's like I don't remember how, but like my friend Autumn, she like got to Japan for like kind of cheap.
Go her.
Good for her.
Anyway, last but not least.
Last but maybe a little least.
Oh. Okay. Well, I stand corrected, but continue.
If you're looking to get into because New Zealand, I don't know how to do the New Zealand accent. Do they have an accent in New
Zealand? No, that's a little Aussie.
Aussie.
Anyway, New Zealand.
New Zealand, Wellington and Auckland. Okay. Kind of like two places. Wellington and Auckland are known to be like the gay town. So if you want to go hiking in the fucking Lord of the Rings
mountains
area.
of New Zealand. Oh, that's right. Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand.
In New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Auckland and Wellington, I think I said, are the two gayest cities in New Zealand. So if you want to, like, you know,
go
raw dog it in nature, have your own
have your own little hobbit.
Mountain.
Oh, hey. Get your own back broken.
Yes,
in the majestic hillsides of New Zealand, then go check out Auckland and Wellington. And
but then afterwards, if you want to, like, you know, go do a bump of coke and dance with Go-Go Boys, Wellington and Auckland
you can do that as well.
Actually, no, I don't think they get that well.
Okay,
New Zealand.
well,
but, you know, you can bring that energy.
That's true. But speaking of doing bumps of coke
and Go-Go Boys,
we'll be right back. And we're back. And now, everyone, there is a book out there in the world of gay literature that a lot of people in the gay book world probably know and probably have read. It's called Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Wow.
And I am one of those people that has read the book, and I'm a big fan of it. And
so for us illiterates, give us a rundown of the basic plot.
So basically, it revolves around Alex Claremont Diaz, who is the first son of the United States, and his mother, Ellen Claremont Diaz, is president. Hey. And basically, the story is about his kind of like, but it starts off as like they start off as sort of enemies, but then they transform into a budding romance between him and Henry, Prince of Wales, who is the Prince of England, and it is about their romance as a couple. But anyway,
vomit.
It was announced a while back that Amazon Prime is going to be making a movie about the book, and it is currently in production. And as of right now, we do have some confirmed cast members. We know that Taylor Zakar Perez is going to be playing Alex, and Nicholas Galtzine, I don't know if that's how you pronounce the last name, is going to be playing Henry. And so the thing is, some people out there in the world are not too happy about the casting choices, because some people feel that the people who they chose for the roles are a little bit too old. And not like, you know, not in the case of like the guy who, you know, in The Breakfast Club, who is that guy who the bad boy who we were supposed to believe was a high schooler when he was legitimately like 35.
Yeah.
Not that old, but the two people that they cast for the roles of Henry and Alex, Henry is only 23 years old, and Alex is like a year younger than him, so he's actually like almost my age. And these are the two that they've chosen for the roles of Henry and Alex. So can you see what I mean by how maybe they don't look, you know?
Can I see again?
Do you think they look that they could pass for like 22 and 23? I mean, it's
the blondie, but
yeah. But anyway,
not
so
the other one.
Some people are not too thrilled about the casting choices, and I have decided to take that into my own hands. So today, I am going to be giving you my official casting list of Red, White, and Royal Blue. Now, keep in mind, obviously, this is not the official casting list. We know who's going to be playing them in the movie, but I scanned through all the Twitter threads, all the Pinterest boards, all the fan subreddits and blogs that I felt like scoping through within the time period of 30 minutes, because I did it yesterday, and I'm not going to lie, I did it kind of later in the day, and I was really tired, and I was in the middle of doing laundry, so, you know. But I won't be doing the entire cast of characters, because for those of you who know the book, you know that there's a lot of people that I could cast. So I am just going to be casting the main 6 members of the gang. So Alex, Henry, June, Nora, Beatrice, and Pez. And today,
Pez,
P-E-Z, babe, like
who
the
names
candy,
their kids Pez?
like the candy. I'm sure Pez is short for something, but if I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what it's
Pizza?
short
Like what?
for. But
Anyways,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna read.
Cast these
But
hookers.
so Josh doesn't feel left out. I'm gonna I'm gonna read off who I have cast in the role, and then I'm gonna show Josh like their Instagram page and see if he kind of like agrees with me, if he thinks that this person could play like the role.
I don't know what the role is though.
Well, I'll give you a description.
I will say if
I'll give you like a vague kind of like description.
Like here's what they're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
I'll also rank them if I think I can beat them in ping pong.
Okay, perfect.
Just to spice it up.
All right, love it. So for the role of Alex Claremont Diaz, the first son of the United States bisexual icon, we have Michael Camino, who most of the gays out there will know from his role in Love, Victor. I know, but so
I don't care. I'm sorry.
Michael. So Alex, the role of Alex, he's the first son of the United States. He's 22. He is, a young like politician on the rise, and he's supposed to be like bisexual. And so tell me if you think he, Mr. Michael Camino. So do you think you could beat him in ping pong?
Okay, wait.
All right.
So how old is he supposed to be?
He's supposed to be 22 in the book. Do you think that checks out?
Yeah, I suppose.
I was gonna, upon first glance.
Yeah, passing. Like, I think once you apply the makeups and the cosmeceuticals, he can look.
The cosmeceuticals.
And can I beat him in ping pong? He thinks he can beat me in ping pong, and I'm going to absolutely embarrass him.
You would destroy him.
Obliterate him.
All right. Well, Michael.
It would be embarrassing.
Michael, watch out, because Josh is coming for you.
In that ping pong.
Yes. For the role of Henry, Prince of Wales, I have cast Samuel Jocelyn, who is known for his work in the Paddington Bear series.
Oh.
Where's a good? So Henry basically is, he's the Prince of Wales. He's very proper, but he also has a fun and crazy side to him, which doesn't come out that often because he's under the crown and he has to be this public figure for the tabloids.
Sorry.
But he's also like a bottom. So
of course he is.
The Prince of Wales is a bottom. But anyway, so
the Prince of Wales right now is a bottom.
So, but yeah, so I think this guy Samuel Jocelyn, he's the dude in the middle. So, I think if he like dyed his hair blonde,
absolutely,
exactly. See, I think if he just like dyed his hair blonde, because in the book Henry's blonde, and I think if he just like maybe like toned up a little bit more and dyed his hair blonde, I think he could fit the character perfectly.
I agree. I think I'd beat him pretty handily in ping pong.
I think you could.
I think he knows he'd lose, and he'd probably cry when I beat him.
You think he'd be a little bitch about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Samuel, Josh is coming for you. In the role of June Claremont Diaz, Alex's sister, and first
1 minute left.
daughter
Holy shit!
of the United States, we have I have cast Isabella Merced, who is known for her roles in Transformers, the live-action Dora movie. Because if you remember, they did a live-action Dora.
I forgot! Oh my god!
Yeah, so this she's supposed to be Alex's sister. Do you think she could pull it off, being related to Alex, the guy that I have?
Absolutely. I think she works.
All right.
She'd beat me in ping pong.
And yeah, okay.
How the fuck did they do a live action Dora? I'm sorry, I'm caught up on that. I'm remembering. That was so fucking stupid. Why the fuck would you ever?
Next up, for the role of Nora, who is best friends with June and Alex and kind of the third member of the White House trio.
Okay.
Alexandra Shipp. She was known for playing Abby in the movie Love, Simon. And she was also known for her work in X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Dark Phoenix. Nora's kind of just like the journalistic like BFF of Alex and June. She's like kind of always by their side, I feel like she gives off bestie vibes, kind of. What do you think?
She absolutely has bestie vibes.
I feel like she could be a fun bestie.
I would pick her as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, We would start playing ping pong, and we'd get distracted by like drinking, so we would never finish the game.
Yeah, she'd be fun. She'd be a fun.
We'd never finish the match.
Yeah, and then real quick because we are running out of time and our tech producer's getting mad at us. For the role of Beatrice, Princess of Wales, I have cast Florence Pugh. I know that's not probably how you say her name, but she's known for her role as Yelena in the Marvel Universe, aka sister to Black Widow, and she's also soon going to be starring alongside Harry Styles in an upcoming movie called Don't Worry, Darling, which is I think it's supposed to be this like take on like a utopian kind of like 1950s like housewife, you know, the men go to work and the lady stays at home type thing. But what
is her role again?
So she's Henry's sister, and she's like the kind-hearted like sister who had a little bit of a problem with drugs in the past.
Okay.
But she has come through it and she's a better person now.
Okay, I see that for her.
Okay. And so ping pong.
I win.
Okay. And last but not least, for the role of Pez, Henry's like BFF, and I had to look this up to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Ncuti Gatwa from the Netflix series Sex Education. He plays Eric, the comical BFF. And Pez, the character of Pez, he's fun loving, he's cool. Okay. He does a lot of like LGBT kind of like philanthropy work, and he's besties with Henry. So what do you think?
Oh, Pez isn't white. Okay, that makes
no sense. I mean it. I feel like he gives off those kind of vibes.
He does. Yeah. He beat me in ping pong and he fits the role. I thought Pez was gonna be some like, you know how there's like
some like just some white dude.
Do you know people are kind of clowning like non-binary white people for like picking like the most weirdest fucking names?
Yes.
That's what I thought Pez was gonna be.
Oh, that's what you thought was gonna happen.
No. Okay. Yeah. That.
Well.
Contextualized. I thought like Pez was like
nah.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, so that is my casting choice, and we do not have time to do the rest of the movie. But if you would like, I could do a part 2 at some time in the future. So
absolutely,
let me know. But and subscribe down below.
Do you want to just? Oh my god! Holy!
What happened? What happened? What happened?
I like was going to reposition myself, and like my arm, like my like the meat of my arm, like cramped really badly.
Oh dear. Are you okay?
No.
Oh.
We gotta go.
Okay. We gotta. Oh dear. Okay. We gotta wrap this up. All right.
I'm in
pain. You can subscribe to, rate, and review the latest and the gayest on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public. And please follow us on social media at TLATG Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
You have a Facebook?
To stay. Yes, we do.
I always forget. I'm never on Facebook.
It's okay. I only use it nowadays to like keep up with my relatives and stuff and whatever minion memes they're sharing. And please check out our link tree, which can be found in the bio of all of our social medias, to not only find where you can listen to the show and all our social media links, but you can also find some resources on many different things. We have resources for the Ukraine. We have resources for the Ukraine. We have resources for helping the families of the Ulvade shooting. And we now have officially some stuff up there for abortion funds and places that you can donate to help make abortions safe and affordable for women across the world and anyone who has the ability to get pregnant. And also there's a link for the Center for Reproductive Rights. So go check them out and see what you can do to help. And with that, we gotta go tend to Josh's wounds.
Yeah,
his poor
arm hurts.
Okay.
Before we get to the hospital, can we go to McDonald's?
Nah. I have actually been craving some nugs lately, so that may or may not happen. But we'll we'll take it's like when you're a kid and you're like driving home from somewhere and it's like, Mom, can we stop at McDonald's? It's like, no, sweetie, we already have food at home.
You got McDonald's money?
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming.